We're sitting in a 2015 Subaru Forester. We're going to be replacing the Clockspring, or the roll connector as Subaru calls it. In a previous video, I'll link up here, we diagnosed that the horn being inoperative sporadically or randomly as you turn the steering wheel, the horn will stop working. Found that it is the Clockspring to be the issue, so we're going to go ahead and replace that. First, before we go ahead and dive into all of this, I want to make sure that my scan tool can recalibrate the steering angle position sensor. These have a steering angle position sensor inside connected to the Clockspring that will need to be removed with the Clockspring installed on the new one. If for some reason something goes wrong, I may need to recalibrate what the computer sees as the steering angle. So I just want to make sure on my scan tool that I have that capability. So let me show you what it may look like on your scan tool. Sometimes wording or verbiage is a little different, but a lot of times they're the same between different scan tools. For reference, this is the Launch X431. When you get into this portion of it, after you've selected the vehicle and everything, go to Advanced Function. And under Advanced Function is right at the very top. Set Mode, Steering Angle Sensor, and Lateral G Sensor. So you click on that, and then it tells you what this is for. It's the VDC Sensor Midpoint Setting Mode is used to calibrate the 0 point of the steering angle and lateral G sensors. So if I hit OK, I can just show you, hit OK, and it'll tell you what to do. And you just run through that process, and then it'll reset the steering wheel back at 0 where you have it. Just in case the reading is off, we want it at 0. All right, now that we know that our scan tool is capable of recalibrating the steering angle sensor or resetting the steering angle sensor back to 0, we can go ahead and proceed. We will be working around the airbag, so we want to make sure that we disconnect the battery for at least 1 minute and leave it disconnected, of course, through the process of this repair. You will need a steering wheel puller. When I pull everything off, I'll show you what you may need. What else? I think that's about it. All right, let's get to it. All right, to start, we have our steering wheel as centered as we can. The tires are nice and straight, pointing forward. We'll want to get this off, the airbag. If you look right here, there's a hole. There's a hole on the other side and then one underneath. So we'll want to stick like a screwdriver. Sorry, wiggling around too much. Screwdriver like this, put it in there, and then you can push down on a little spring retainer. Once this is off, I'll show you what it looks like on the back of the steering wheel and the little retaining spring so you can get a better idea. But those 3 holes is how you get this off, which is something long that you can poke in there. So we have it off. It's important not to drop these on the ground. But you see these springs? If you pull the spring down, there's a little lip. Well, that lip gets caught on this little wire here. So when you're looking back underneath, you want to get something back there that moves this out of the way. So down at the bottom, there's actually a little piece that you'll see through the hole that you push on, and then it opens up or spreads up this hole here, and then it just pops out. Because they're spring loaded, you don't have to pull on the airbag. You just push this and it'll pop, and then push that, pop, pop, and there's only 3, one down here and then the 2 up top. How to get the airbag connectors off is this top piece here, is you get something underneath it and pop it up. See how they're popped up? They're both popped up. When you see yours, they'll be pushed down in their closed position. So just pop it up, and then this thing will just pull off of the airbag. All right, now we'll pull the center nut in the steering wheel, 17 millimeter. Already broke it loose. And now this is where we want to mark the steering wheel to that shaft. So we want to make sure that everything lines up just right. If you're a spline off, then the steering wheel will be a little crooked. So we just want to mark it, make sure that we put it back exactly on the splines the way that it is. Just so you can see my alignment marks, I have a gold mark on the steering wheel itself, and then a gold mark on the threads of this shaft. And that'll help me get it right in place. Then I have a confidence mark down here. So if that lines up and this lines up down here, then we're good to go. Just so you can see the steering wheel puller setup, there's 2 slots, one there and one there for you to thread in your puller. And then this is how it's set up. And then I'll just tighten it up, and then that'll pop the steering wheel off of the spline. Something critical I forgot to show you. So this right here, and you can see that black ring, that's the clock spring. So we want to disconnect this connector because it's attached to the steering wheel. So we disconnect it here before we remove the steering wheel, otherwise we'll be pulling on things. And we want to make sure that this clock spring doesn't rotate or move when we pull it out. So just pull it straight out. But anyway, the important thing was this connector. We want to make sure that we unplug that before removal of the steering wheel. So now we'll want to remove this bottom cover. There's 2 screws up here, Phillips. And we disconnect it from down here. So this yellow connector is for the airbag. It has a special type. You don't just push on it, but you actually slide this back, and then it unlocks. So that's a special locking mechanism for this. This one is just a regular push connector. All right, now we can remove the clock spring. There's a tab here that gets pulled down, a tab here, and then one up above that gets pulled. And then this whole thing comes out as one unit. There's one connector I missed. There's a third connector. So 2 on the side and then 1 underneath. All right, that's it. The old clock spring is out. The steering angle position sensor will pull off and then put on the new one. So you notice the new clock spring comes with a pre-locked in position. There's a triangle here and a triangle on this body. That's the position that we want it. If you look at our old one, that same triangle, that's where we took it off. So we had the steering wheel centered and then those 2 triangles lined up. When taking off the steering angle position sensor, let me turn this over. It's that ring. I don't have 2 hands. Let me set it down. It's this whole ring here, and this little piece all comes out as one. And there's some lock tabs you'll see around it, and then that whole piece comes off. We want to transfer it over and lock it in. So when we take this off, we want to just try to make it so that those triangles line up. We'll hold that in place while we pop this back off, and then just transfer it straight over. We'll be sure not to move stuff around on the steering angle sensor while transferring it over. So we'll just try our best. You know, a little probably isn't detrimental, but we'll try to prevent it from turning a full 180 or anything like that. So let's do this. Another thing real quick, if you purchase this from the dealer, which this is a dealer part from Subaru, they give you a little tube of grease. Comes in like a toothpaste tube. We'll want to grease up these little channels here where the steering angle sensor goes in. We just want to make sure those are good and greased so that it can slide freely in its little spot while the steering wheel is being moved. So they give you a tube of grease and we'll use it. Okay, so for me, starting up at these top clips worked better than starting at these bottom clips. So the 2 top and then work down to these bottom ones. So that's it. We'll pull it out. And again, we want to try that gray ring inside. We want it to not move the best that we can. We'll just pop it into our new one. But first we want to grease our new one. So let me do that real quick. I don't think you could over grease it. All right, put our new one on. it'll just snap into place. Just like that. And I'm just going to put a little more, just another dab of grease on the top of it. All right, ready to put it back in. All right, in the way it came out, it should lock in its little tabs. Don't pull this grenade pin yet. So we can start plugging things back in. And pretty much it's just reverse at this point. So those three are in. Before we put our steering wheel back on, we have to pull this pin. All right, we can also put our little plastic back on. It's just easier now, but you can do it later. It's no big deal if you forget. The airbag connectors go through here. All right. And then line up our splines. All right, everything's gonna lock in place and fit just right. Our marks line up, so we're good to go there. Torque spec on this center bolt is 2829 foot-pounds. Now, one thing to keep in mind, this is a current Subaru manual. Sometimes those torque specs do change over time. If they see a problem with the current torque specs, they'll adjust it. So depending on when you're watching this, that 29 foot-pounds may be a different torque spec. So it's always good to just double check. I may throw out a torque spec, but check yourself just to be sure. You can always call up the dealer and say, hey, can you give me that torque spec on that steering wheel center nut? And they'll be happy to provide it. All right, so we'll put that bolt in, torque it down, and put everything else back on. Now we can get our airbag and just start plugging everything in here. And then it just gets pushed in and it'll lock on its own. There we go. So that's it. So now we just want to make sure we're going to hook the battery back up, make sure that we have horn, because that was the whole purpose of replacing the clock spring. And then we'll make sure that our steering angle position sensor is still calibrated. It still thinks we're at 0 or close to 0 in this position. All right, battery's back in. Nothing blew up, so that feels good. Horn, good to go. So now let's hook up our scan tool and make sure our steering position is good. All right, to find the steering angle sensor, I'm sure there's a few modules that you can check. Power steering is an easy module to get to. I'll read data stream, and we'll go down to steering angle. Okie doke. So we're at 0. That could be good, could be bad. It depends. We want to turn the steering wheel and make sure that that number is going to change. So I'm going to turn to the left. There we go. Changing. Okay. Back to center. And then to the right. Changing. Perfect. And back to center. So we are good to go. No need to calibrate. So that feels really good. All right, there you go. That's how you can replace a clock spring or a roll connector on one of these Subarus. Interesting is very similar steps to changing the steering angle sensor. So if you have a steering angle sensor issue, and not necessarily a horn issue, or maybe you have a different issue like the steering controls aren't working, that could be the clock spring. But either way, whether you're replacing the clock spring or the steering angle position sensor, the procedure is very similar. So if you follow this the way that it was performed, then the procedure should be the same whether you're replacing the clock spring or not. All right, well, that's it. Thanks for watching. Remember, be safe. You're around airbag stuff. These things are crazy dangerous if your head is in the wrong spot or something like that. So just, disconnect the battery. Wait about a minute, because these have backup capacitors that keep current available, or keep voltage available in case you're in an accident and the battery shorts out. it still needs to operate. If you're rolling down the road because of a really bad accident or whatever, these still need to deploy. So they have a backup system. So that's why you leave the battery off for about a minute. So just keep that in mind. You should be fine. Not too bad, about an hour-ish job. You can get it done sooner if you've done one of these before. But if you've done one of these before, you're probably not watching this video. All right, well, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe. See you on the next one.